Hey guys, my voice is kind of shot, so I will do my best at talking as loud as I can. I'm also at work, so hopefully the video doesn't go out of the Wi-Fi or whatever. So the first connection I had was on page 3, and it was to the asking ourselves why we should put all of our effort into learning something. And I made this connection to a lot of the general electives, because while I was taking them, I would get frustrated and be like, why do I need to learn about this? I feel like I'm never going to use this in my career, and it would take me a lot to get through my general ed classes because of that reasoning. And so I connected it to that and just feeling like I wasn't going to use what I was learning. Now looking back at it, though, I realized that I'm going to use a lot of those things. It just, first year college student, didn't really think I was going to use it. Another connection I had to chapter 1 was about multitasking on page 6, and it said something about people can shove about 8 hours of media into a 6-hour time period because of multitasking. And I realized that whenever I'm on the internet, I have like 4 or 5 or 6 tabs open, Facebook, email, YouTube, Blackboard, iTunes, Microsoft Word, a bunch of different things. And so reading that, I realized that I do that a lot, and that whether I'm doing homework or I'm paying bills or playing games, there's always a bunch of tabs open on my screen. And it was kind of interesting to read about how multitasking is a way for us to go through a lot of media and kind of just like shove as much media as we possibly can into a smaller time limit. Another thing that I had a connection to in chapter 1 was the autopilot through stores, which I definitely used to do before I became allergic to like 10 different things. And so before that, I would just go into the store and pick random foods that looked good and like just grab this, grab that, bag of wheat thins, like yum, just go. And I would pay attention to prices just because of money, but I usually tend to pay attention to ingredients and stuff like that. But when I found out I was allergic to gluten, dairy, soy, garlic, rye, spelt, a bunch of different things, it completely changed the way that I act in stores. It used to be like a 10 to 20 minute drive, trip in and out, and I would just go in and get out as fast as I could. But now it's at least a half an hour of spending my time in a store looking for food that I can eat, because a lot of things have soy and a lot of things have garlic and a lot of things have dairy in them, and I can't eat any of that. And so it takes a long time for me to go through all of the ingredients and what I want to eat to still create a full meal where I get all my nutrients, but where it's not harming my body at all. And so I thought that was really interesting, learning about autopilot and comparing myself to how I used to be to how I am now just because of my allergies. And then in chapter 2, I connected a lot to the messages about factual and social messages. I feel like that happens a lot through social media, Facebook, but also just in life. Like, there are a lot of messages everywhere, and you can see them just sitting and watching TV. Like, if you sit and watch TV for a little bit, there's like, a bajillion, join this dating site because you will find the love of your life, blah, blah, blah. And then all of them always say, ours is, the best of the best, and you will always find someone on our site, and we're better than all the other ones. But every site says that. So I think it's really interesting that it's like a social message. They're trying to get people to join their site because they think that their site is the best, and they think that people will find someone on their site. I also see it on a lot of like different food items where they say like new improved, but it looks the exact same, or they like change something on the bag so that people are like, oh, this must be better than the old one. I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna spend an extra $1 on it because it's new and it's better. Going back to my allergies, I've connected that to food things saying gluten-free or dairy-free, and even if they're like wouldn't normally have gluten or dairy in them, so like a bag of popcorn with like no cheese or anything, just a bag of popcorn, it'll say like gluten-free on it, and you're like, well, yeah, I mean, obviously it's gluten-free, but I feel like people buy it more because they know that they don't have to worry about it. If it says it on the front, then they don't have to look through the ingredients. A couple of different things are just like, a lot of oatmeal packages will say like gluten-free or dairy-free or soy-free, and I'm like, I think this should be fine. So I think it's really interesting that they play up the gluten-free, dairy-free a little bit, because they know that so many people are against gluten or allergic to gluten or have celiac, so that they put that on there to try to get more people's money. I consider myself kind of in the middle with media literacy. I understand media and its attempt to capture our minds and to get us to buy things or to get us to be interested in a certain product, but I don't feel like I'm a professional at it. Like, I don't understand every aspect of it, and some of it still does confuse me. But I think growing up in the 90s put me in a generation of dealing with media and dealing with electronics and just different things like that more than past generations. I would say people younger than me also know how to use more electronics better than me, but I think that I just have like a general understanding of media literacy. Bye.